Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, obviously, you guys can see we are back on Twitter talking about Team Liquid once again. They actually made a pretty interesting move. This was last week. I actually thought I had made a video on this topic. I had, it was on my list of videos, and every single week. At this point, I've made so many different videos, talked about so many different things. It's hard to tell when I have actually talked about something and when I haven't. But I guess I didn't actually talk about this, and I still think it's relevant, so I still want to. Obviously, Team Liquid has had a ton of craziness going on in the top lane between Alfari, Jenkins, whatever's going on there. They got Dokla for Academy, and now it seems like they're just rocking with the 6-man rotation. But also the situation in the jungle where, the last thing we've heard about the Santorin situation was on June 24th. This is now like, what, 3, almost going on 4 weeks ago, where they said that Santorin was pretty much just going to be out until further notice, until he kind of gets cleared by his doctor to be able to return. He's dealing with these debilitating symptoms. We don't really know what's going on, so our Mayo has been playing with the team. And the big news coming out is that now Team Liquid has a new Academy jungler. They'd like to welcome Inori to Team Liquid Academy. This was some news that happened last week, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today, because just like when Dokla signed to Academy, I think this is actually pretty interesting stuff. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm, if you guys want to receive extra bonus exclusive content and videos every single week. With that being said, here we go. So Inori is the new Academy jungler for Team Liquid. This guy has really been around the block. We've seen this guy everywhere in the North American League of Legends scene, dating all the way back to like 2014 with Enemy. I believe this was his first LCS spot. Maybe this was when they were still in Challenger Series. I'm not even sure, but I know Enemy was in the LCS at some point. Dignitas, TSM Darkness, Dignitas again. Phoenix 1 was kind of I think the stint that he's most well known for. He had some really big carry games for Phoenix 1 on that team. Team Liquid, Youth Crew, A New Esports, C9 Academy. He was on last year. This was that absolutely loaded, absolutely dominant C9 Academy team with Fudge on it that just kind of won everything. So Inori has been really everywhere. He is 26 years old, as it says there, which, again, in the League of Legends world, in the esports world, kind of old. Not really necessarily the player you're super excited to get on your Academy team or anything like that. But you know what you're getting with Inori. He's solid. He's very familiar with the competitive scene, very familiar with the LCS. He's not a young talent. He's not a developing talent that is going to, be like the next superstar, your next franchise player or anything like that. But he could be very solid. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you just have solid players in your academy. I'm sure it's nice to kind of keep some structure and have someone solid and reliable, but at the end of the day, I do think Academy is more developmental than it is like playing for results and stuff like that. So I think this move is kind of interesting, kind of weird. I'm sure it's hard to find, too much promising young talent at this time during the year, especially for Academy and stuff. So I don't really fault them. I don't really, at the end of the day, think this matters too much as far as who they got for the Academy team. But I do think this is interesting because in a couple of ways, this means that obviously, they waited to make this move. They waited a couple of weeks to see what they were going to have to do, what their options were going to be. But this, to me, kind of signals into a lot of other people that this Santorin situation is going to be more long-term. It is still developing. It is still happening. There are no new, good, positive updates. And really, this dates all the way back to the spring playoffs when Santorin was dealing with some issues. Because then, obviously, he sat out the semifinals. He sat out the finals. And then they had a couple of weeks off. He got to gather himself. He got to kind of come back together. Then he played a couple of weeks because they didn't have to go to MSI or anything like that. So he just had time off. Then comes back for a couple of weeks, and it seems like the same issues are popping up once again. So really, this has been months and months and months almost continuously of him dealing with these issues. Yes, he did get a couple of weeks of scrims in, a couple of weeks of games in, but there was a lot of time off in between there as well. And that time off wasn't enough for him, didn't make enough of an impact or comeback or whatever. So I definitely, feel for Santorin. Hopefully he can get his mind right. Hopefully he can get his health right. Hopefully he can bounce back bigger than ever. Team Liquid needs that. The LCS needs that. He is simply one of the better junglers in the LCS, when he's healthy and when he is on his game. And he would obviously make the LCS a better league. He would make North America a better region. We would love to have him. But this does kind of signal a longer term issue for Team Liquid. And as far as the Team Liquid team, that is a big issue. But our Mayo has been solid. He's not great. He's not amazing, but he's just decent. But that is really not what Team Liquid needs. Team Liquid is a team that is spending all this money on huge name players. Alfari, Jensen, Core JJ. They are not trying to make it to Worlds. They're not trying to barely be the third seed from North America. They're trying to win LCS titles, but even more than that, they're trying to do damage at Worlds. And right now, taking a look at the LCS standings, where Team Liquid is tied for 4th. They are 22-14 right now. They are they're actually tied for 3rd. All these teams are 22-14. They're all 2 games back of TSM. They're all 3 games back of 100 Thieves. But when you even take a look at just the standings from the summer split, you will see that Team Liquid has been the 4th best team in the summer split, just a game ahead of Cloud9. And come playoff time, is Team Liquid going to be better than Cloud9? I don't know. There's an argument to be made that Team Liquid is perhaps the 5th best team in the LCS right now, and that's with Jenkins sometimes, with Alfari sometimes, but it's with our Mayo in the jungle mostly, and it looks like that's what we're going to be getting for the foreseeable future. And I think the signing of Inori just kind of hammers that home even further, that Santorin is not right about to come back, because if he was, they wouldn't be picking up a new player. They'd have our Mayo ready to go in academy. They could kind of sort things out until then. But yeah, they decided that they do need a longer term solution. It does seem like Inori will be the academy jungler for the rest of the year, and then we're gonna get this whole mess where if Santorin does come back, whether it's at the end of the regular season, whether it's in the playoffs, whether it's if Team Liquid makes it to Worlds or whatever, then what are they going to do? They're going to have some controversy. They can't even decide what they're doing in the top lane, rocking a 6-man roster rotation, whatever right now. Say a couple of weeks after Armeo's playing more and more with the team, and it's been longer and longer since Santorin has played. Are they going to go with the 7-man rotation? Is Santorin just going to be out for the season? Is Armeo just going to be the new jungler? Is Armeo just going to get kicked to the curb? I don't know. And this whole situation is going to be very, very interesting and crazy. And then also, even further into the future, Santorin is a free agent this offseason. Is Team Liquid going to want him back? Is another team in the LCS going to take a chance on him? Spend all this money if he can't even necessarily stay healthy and play on a consistent basis? Armeo also going to be a free agent. Is he going to land a spot in the LCS? I don't think that Team Liquid's going to be bringing him back, which would then mean Team Liquid is going to have an opening in the jungle. It's not going to be Inori. It's not going to be Armeo. It's most likely not going to be Santorin. So who are the big name options in the LCS? Would Team Liquid then go out and look to get a European jungler? Would they look to import a big name, like Korean or Chinese jungler? And even in that case, who would the options be? But I mean, this season is looking worse and worse for Team Liquid, a team with so much talent, so much promise, so much hype, so much hope. People are being more and more critical of Cold and the job he's doing as a coach and with drafts and everything. They're obviously being very, very critical of the TL management, how they're handling the top lane situation, and the jungle situation doesn't look great either. Armeo was never supposed to be the Team Liquid starting jungler. They like him and they believe in him, but they don't believe in him like that. And I don't think a lot of other people in the community do either. And I mean, the results speak for themselves. This is a team that's supposed to be one of the best teams, hopefully a team that can compete on the world stage. And right now, they're a middle of the pack LCS team. And yeah, it's just really, really disappointing. But they have a new jungler. Inori's on Team Liquid. He is now the Academy jungler. They have that slot filled in. But now they have 3 top laners, 3 junglers, and it's just a whole mess. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it a ton. Leave a comment down below. Do you think we're going to see Santorin again this season, or do you think he's done? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamJerm. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!